Okay, guys, this is Jerry with Bensberg Technologies. Just want to take you through what we've put together. Now, what we've done is we've considered the space, we've considered the acoustics, we've considered everything, the seating areas. We feel like that we've got it pretty much pegged. So you just let me know if we're pegging too hard. So here's what we're going to do initially to get us started is we got to add some low end in there. Now, these the subs that we were talking about, we looked at some different things. You've got TOA speakers. We don't really think that TOA has a lot of options to stay with that throughout, even though we love continuity. We love for everything to be in the same brand and the same family. TOA really just doesn't have those options. So we switched over to JBL. So we decided to do everything we could in JBL because JBL Professional is just one of the highest performing installed speakers on the market. So we did a couple of JBL SRX 818Ss. That's a single 18 sub. Now, what makes this sub so special is that if we look in the specs, it really likes to have 2400 watts. It will run on 600, but it will go down to 28 hertz. Now, 28 hertz is inaudible. 28 hertz is what we're talking about. That's aural bass. And then if you'll look right here, the maximum SBL is 135 decibels. That is concert level bass. So that's going to be the highest performing sub for the money that we can give you without stepping into something on a next level price point. So that being said, talking about the amplifiers, these are the specs on the P3200 that you have installed, currently pushing those two EVs. How that amp blew those speakers is beyond me, because I assume, seeing P3200, that's a 3200 watt amp. It is not. It's a 340 watt amp. So stereo per channel at 8 ohms is 340 watts. Now that's not even going to touch our subs. And I should have seen that based on the 14 gauge cable that was run to the subs. So to push these subs, we are going to have to pull new 12 gauge cable in place of the 14, and we really need to go with a different amplifier. Now, for the last probably 3 or 4 years, this has been the amp that we have installed more than anything else. This is the Dynacord, made by Electro Voice, the Dynacord L3600. It is 1800 watts times 2, and it's true power. Built-in DSP, so we won't need the crossover. We won't need any of the other stuff that's in the rack there. If I pull that over here, we'll be able to see it. We've got, let's see, there's the other subs. But in the amp rack, there's our 340 watt per channel amplifier, not 3200 watts. And up at the top of the rack, okay, we've got our power distro, our sequencer, power sequencer, which we'll need, and that's great. It's not a current model, but it works well, and so that's awesome. We can eliminate this crossover. This crossover here is everything is built into the Dynacord, the front of the Dynacord. So that will clean that up quite a bit, and it'll be digital signal processing instead of an analog crossover. That'll allow us to add maximum punch to those subs, be able to filter out unwanted frequencies, all kinds of stuff. So we would love to do that. While we're at it, I can just bring you back over here. The QSC amplifier that's driving the mains, the RMX 2450, it's an okay amp, but I would love to put another Dynacord in its place so that we could use that DSP to maximize that HX5, the sonic capability of it. Having both of those on those Dynacord amps with DSP gives us so much flexibility, so much digital signal processing that we can appropriate for those. Then let's move on to the other stuff, and I can come back to the rack. But here we go. So we've got our two subs. Here's our HX5 here in the middle. It's doing its job. It's doing it's clearing a really good path through the middle of the sanctuary. What we want to do is take the TOA columns that were right here, if you can see my cursor, and move those over onto the beams to wash just the balcony area there. And then what we thought about after the fact, after we got back to the shop, is wouldn't it be nice to duplicate those and get another set of those, identical set of those columns, and come down and wash the other part of the balcony, so we have perfect coverage with using the same speaker all the way across both sides. And then underneath, what we decided, the S40, the EV S40 that's washing into the altar area, we decided to, I guess, pull those. Those are dated. They're an older model, not available anymore. So what we decided is to go with a JBL Cube speaker, because they're almost, you almost can't even see them in white. It's a single 2-inch speaker that absolutely screams. But all we want it for is to wash good, high intelligible, high frequencies through these dead areas on the sides under the balcony overhang, and that will give us a nice delay and allow us to get all those dead spots without really overpowering, but just a nice, good, crisp wash of sound, so that you have audio everywhere except on the platform. And we cover that with some new monitors. But so we got all of that, and then of course we were talking about those are Control 52s, the little cube speakers, JBL, the SRX subs, and then we've got JBL Control 29s, which is an 8-inch 3-way speaker. Really, really nice speaker here in those crooks that I was talking about, that actually will wash over the sound booth here and the rear balcony area. And those will be nice and punchy, and they'll actually pick up a lot of the slack from the bass, of the subs. When you're up here in the balcony, you're not going to catch much of the subs. And so having these good punchy speakers up here will help fill in a lot of that and make it more full range. Okay, and of course here's our rack back here. All right, so how are we going to make this happen? We've actually got 4 sets of delayed speakers. 1, 2 here, 3, and then we'll gang these. So 1, 2, 3 sets of delays. And of course the amplifiers, the Dynacord amplifiers, have time alignment built into it, so I can actually retard the signal to make everything line up. So wherever I am in the building, I'm hearing everything as one, instead of hearing the speaker closest to me and then hearing the speaker farther away and creating that weird slapback ping pong effect. So what we want to do is we want to add, let's see, here in the rack we've got, also we would eliminate all of these EQs and everything using the Dynacord amps. But these Alesis amps, this is probably appropriate for what it's being used for. The RA100, that is actually a 100-watt amplifier, and it's designed for studio speakers and stuff like that. And same thing on the 500. That's probably a 250 watt times 2. It's not really what we need to drive these speakers and to have the DSP that we need to do the time alignment and to roll off all the low end out of the cube speakers and all of that kind of stuff. And so Dynacord makes a 4-channel version. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull that up. It's a here we go. Those are our live sound amps. I want to show you take you to the amplifier that I would like to install in that space. Let me see. I mean, for those delayed speakers. That's the V600, right? All right, so I'm going to search that. V600. Yes. This is a single channel, 600 watt, a single rack space, 4-channel, 600 watt amplifier with DSP, everything that's needed to be programmed, time alignment, everything else. This amp is so cool because it's not a per channel amplifier. It's a 600 watt amplifier, and it sends out, it's called a power tank, and it sends out the power needed for each speaker. And so it's a really remarkable little versatile amplifier. And if we did a couple of these, then we could actually address all of those different stations throughout and be able to do time alignment and everything that we need to do to make that happen. And besides that, you go to the amp rack, you're going to see the two L3600s driving, one for the mains, one for the subs, and then you're going to see those two other Dynacord single channel amplifiers. It's going to be super clean. In fact, it's going to eliminate EQs, crossovers, all of that. So everything would probably end up fitting in something more like that, the top rack, that has the EQs and stuff in it. So anyway, so that's kind of what we're looking at to get that done. Now, here's where we're at so far. This is before we get to labor and materials. We've got our subs. We've got our 2 extra columns for the balcony. We've got the Control 50s to go under the balcony, the 4 delays, and then we've got the Control 29s for the rear. We've got 2 additional floor wedges. We've got the 2 SLX 24D Beta 58, which is the dual system, so you'd have basically just 2 receivers stacked for 4 Beta 58 mics, and so that is the higher grade diaphragm for those. And then you got your 2 Dynacord L3600s and then the 2 V600s. And so we're bumping after tax, we're bumping 20K. By the time we add labor and, there's several cable pulls and some different things, we're going to be sitting a little bit higher than that. So anyway, just kind of want to give you an overview of where we're at right now. We're working on this, developing this. We got to figure out as far as materials go, what we're looking at here, and then time on site. So, but anyway, just kind of want to give you the rundown of the direction we would love to go with this to be able to take it over the top and feel every space in there with good, high quality, high fidelity, full range audio. So if this is kind of what you're looking for, give me a heads up. If I'm killing you here, let me know, and we can take it at kind of a different direction. But that's what we're thinking right now, and I'm going to push forward with that. And then if we need to back up and punt, we can do that too. So, all right, I appreciate you guys trusting us with Douglas Chapel. Such an honor. We love your church, and we really would like to do anything we can to help you. So, all right, just let us know. Jerry at Bensberg.tech or 870-814-0714. Thanks, guys.